and angst that people have because President Obama was not the Messiah they made him to be in their head. He didn't sell us any fake promises. You know, he didn't promise to save blackness in America. I know that people don't agree. I know people think that he should have done more. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I say to people, we did not demand that of him. You know, the LGBT community, Latino activists had very specific demands in hand. We was just happy to have a black man in office, and we have to be better about that. Even right now today, when we talk about how people need to earn our vote, we're only saying that to one campaign. Why do the Clintons get to just waltz in and magically have our loyalty? I mean, I would love, I know Benjamin Dixon says it all the time, I would love to hear from Black Hillary supporters. I don't want to hear from white people. I'm sorry, because I had enough of that this week too. People telling me about what I ought to be doing on both sides, because it's not just, you know, Bernie supporters, whatever. The media does not pay attention to at all the very nasty, condescending, and racist stuff that is said by members of the Hillary Clinton camp, from her supporters in general. The 2008 Pumas are back and in full force, and they feel like somebody owes them something because they didn't win the first time. So we really do need to have real conversations and dialogue with people. So I would love to hear, specifically tell me what exactly is it that Hillary has done for Black America that we owe her our allegiance, because I don't know what it is. I definitely don't know what Bill Clinton has done. I can tell you a whole bunch of things that he has done that we shouldn't even utter his name. He should be persona non grata. You know, so there's a lot that has happened. There's a lot that's going on, and we can't just, you know, listen to the little talking points and stuff like that and say, oh, well, you know, Charles Rangel said today that I don't know a Black person who knows Bernie. Really, Charlie Rangel? Seriously? Why don't you go holler at Jesse Jackson? Bernie campaigned for him. How about you go do that? Google it. There's YouTube video. I mean, it's very disingenuous what's happening. And I really think we need to push back against the CBC. You know, the CBC has held this very revered position to some extent. I mean, they're like a dinosaur to some extent, because it's like, really, what has the CBC really been doing? Certain members of the CBC are awesome. Shout out to Barbara Lee, who went on Democracy Now! And set the record straight, even though she is not endorsing. And I don't believe in forcing anyone to endorse. I mean, people want to go out their way and ask her to endorse, that's your business. But Barbara Lee is someone who stands on her convictions. She's another one that has a very stellar record. Keith Ellison has endorsed, and he's active and engaged and involved, and also has a good record. So I really think that we need to weigh some of these attacks with a grain of salt on both sides. I think that we need to look at the facts. And when everyone says, oh, but that was just Bill, that wasn't Hillary, really? That makes sense to you? They're a couple, they're a deal. Some say part of the reason why Obama did not make her vice president was he didn't want to have to deal with Bill Clinton in terms of decision making and stuff. Like, let's be real. She has already said that he's going to be her advisor on several issues. If we say he has poor judgment, why would we want him informing her on policy matters, whether it's the economy, whether it's criminal justice reform? I mean, why should the people who destroyed criminal justice get to... Why are we going to give them a chance to mess it up again? That doesn't even make any sense to me. But if you have a good reason, I mean, that's cool. I'd love to hear it. Or people just be real. You're a capitalist. You are benefit from the existing system, and you're not really worrying about the rest of the community, because the rest of the community is struggling and it's been hit. And look it up. 2008 financial collapse did disproportionately negatively impact our Black and Latino communities. I mean, look at what's going on in we rarely ever talk about Native American communities. Look at what's going on in Native American communities. What type of investment activity and stuff has happened, and what type of proposals are going forward. I think another interesting thing tonight, which Hillary hasn't done in a while, but South Carolina's coming up, so of course she has to talk about dead Black people. She was name dropping again tonight. Which I absolutely, as Black mother, I absolutely hate every time she does that. And I understand there are Black mothers of fallen people at the hands of police out there who are endorsing her and supporting her. And, you know, I respect your right to do what you're doing, but considering the importance of your children, of your family members to Black people across the country, I really wish that this would have not been some political ploy that you've been used in, because I want to know, what was Senator Clinton, where was Secretary Clinton, then Senator Clinton, where was she at when Sean Bell was gunned down in New York City? You know, I know Amadou Diallo was probably at the tail end at Bill's time in office, if I remember the dates correctly, I believe that was 99, early 2000s. So she wasn't actually in a public office yet. But where was it? That was a case of public outrage. Where was she at when the Louisiana case was going on? I mean, like, people are saying like, oh, Hillary's like, where is this sudden interest? Like tonight when she said, it was so disingenuous when she said, well, now we know more than we ever do before. Huh? Where you been at? Like, where you been that you didn't know that this type of stuff going on? You didn't see the Rodney King beating that we all saw? I mean, there are plenty of cases. You live from New York, Luis Baez, honey. Like, so it's disingenuous for her to be on TV saying, well, we now know more because we have, cameras and recordings of things. No, now we have proof, definitive proof. That still doesn't really mean anything. I mean, she still hasn't really developed a plan or come out very forcefully on anything, particularly many of the calls of various arms of the Black Lives Matter movement. And that's disheartening. It's unfortunate. And I understand there's skepticism with Senator Sanders, but you cannot deny that if people band together and demand action, it actually happens. If we demand that Congress act or they lose their job, it happens. If they don't want to do what we say, then we replace them. But we have to be active and engaged. We have to make sure this goes. You guys, I'm talking and I'm just talking. And I don't know if it's because you like hearing me talk or whatever. I know the chat's going on, but please call in. Come talk to me. Because I can just go on and on and on. But come talk to me. Number is 857-600-0518. Let me know what you're thinking tonight. There's a lot going on. Tomorrow they're both in Minnesota for